Today I'm going to be looking at Wave 2 of the Black Series 6-inch figures for The Force Awakens. I hadn't originally expected to be able to do this quite so soon, as these were slated for an October release, but actually I was able to get Constable Zuvio and Poe Dameron at a Meijer store on Force Friday. I think Meijer stores were the only places that they were available that early. And then the other two I was able to get on Amazon just recently when they popped up for just a few minutes. So while you may not be able to find these in stores very easily just yet, they should be popping up sooner or later. And I thought I'd give you a little look at them. Packaging-wise, they look about the same as the ones I introduced in my first video about Wave 1. It's got the same black side, and it's the same design exactly, which is good. Like to see some uniformity here. Yeah, so there's not a lot to talk about with them in the package, so let's go ahead and break them out. First up, we have Captain Phasma. This was definitely the figure that I was looking forward to most in this wave, and I think a lot of people are thinking the same thing. She's not easy to find, even if you can find figures from Wave 2, but I'm sure as time goes by you'll be able to find her in more and more places. Now, I mentioned in the previous review I did of the Wave 1 figures that I wasn't entirely sold on the look of the new First Order Stormtrooper armor and stuff like that, and after seeing this, I'm really starting to warm up to it quite a bit. This is a great looking figure, especially if you put her next to the First Order Stormtroopers thusly. Just looks really nice, I think. Much better, actually, even than having Kylo Ren with the Stormtroopers. It's just, you know, they all look like they go together. Definitely the looks of their armor, even though they're a little bit different, they're inspired by sort of the same root look. She has a gun, which is very similar to the gun that the other Stormtroopers have, although it's a different color, sort of a gold color, and it has a stock at the end. Let's see if we can get a closer look at that. There we are. And the helmet looks pretty awesome. It's got some interesting detailing with the lines here, and there's actually, I don't know if you can see, there's lines going along the edges as well. Now, I should warn you about this. Some people have wondered if you could pop off the helmet and maybe put on another head or something later on, but and you can do that. There's actually a ball jointed thing underneath there, but I would recommend not popping it off just to see, because I tried it and it took me like 10 minutes of swearing just to get the thing back on, just because of the way it keeps moving around while you're trying to put pressure on it. So yeah, wouldn't recommend that, really. She comes with this cape, which is, I guess, rubber or plastic, and I think that's probably the way to go with this one, because it needs to drape in a very specific way, it needs to look a specific way, and using actual cloth at this scale would not really look that great. You can lift it up, you can see she's got similar stuff in the back there as the other Stormtroopers do. This coming from, of course, the original trilogy Stormtrooper. But yeah, a great figure, definitely. And I really am interested to see how she turns out in the movie. Just for the heck of it, I do have this Brienne of Tarth figure. We'll substitute for one of the Stormtroopers. As you probably know, Brienne of Tarth is played by Gwendolyn Christie, who is also going to be playing, or has played, Captain Phasma. And I don't know, it's just kind of funny to see the two together. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be exactly the same scale as the Black Series, but it doesn't look too far off. She's definitely a little shorter. And speaking of shorter, she's definitely taller. The Phasma figure is taller than the Stormtroopers, as she should be. She's supposed to be quite an imposing figure. Now, of course, the actual costume is more of a mirror finish, shiny chrome look. This is not that. This is, well, it's metallic plastic, sort of a silvery painted plastic, but it looks good. It's not bad at all. It would be nice to see if some toy maker like Hot Toys can pull off an actual chromed version of this outfit, but I wouldn't expect it in a $20 toy. And it probably, I don't know, at the scale it might not look that great anyway. Next up we have Poe Dameron, at least I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Poe is, well, let me read the back of his box here. An ace pilot, Poe Dameron is a leader in the resistance fight against the evil First Order. He soars into battle behind the controls of a modern X-Wing fighter. So obviously he's wearing an X-Wing pilot's uniform here, and you know, people are speculating that he's a bit of a Han Solo type, although we do of course have an actual Han Solo in the movie. This figure comes with removable hands, so you can swap them with non-gloved versions like these. These ones have this kind of articulation, whereas these do not. It's just, you can just twist them. It's a little bit of an unusual choice for them to include additional hands. We've had that with a few figures, at least, well, I can think of one. Han Solo, the original Han Solo, Smuggler Han, did have gloved and non-gloved hands, but a little bit unusual, so I'm not entirely sure why they decided even to do that. You can, I suppose you can have them use them as some sort of accessory if you really wanted to. Be sort of an, this is not working. There we go, he can beat someone to death with his own arms. He also comes with a removable helmet. Now, a lot of people have complained that this doesn't look anything like Oscar Isaac, the actor who plays Poe, or that he looks strange. Now, I don't know, you can use your own judgment here. I think the sculpt itself looks quite a bit like him, actually. The paint, maybe not so much. The eyes make him look kind of sleepy, or, I don't know, dazed, high. But overall, not too bad. They've used an airbrush to give him sort of a stubble look, which is nice. Overall, it's a nice looking figure. You know, there's a few sort of messy bits of paint here and there that keep me from giving it full marks, but overall I like it pretty well. He also comes with this pistol, which is a little bit different than a lot of the blasters we've seen from Star Wars. Now, I thought it would be interesting to make a comparison here, though, with the X-Wing Luke figure. Now, I've been told that Oscar Isaac and Mark Hamill are the same height, in fact, which makes this difference in height a little bit puzzling. Now, I tend to think that Hasbro doesn't really care that much about height and scaling things correctly. Their past performance has sort of indicated that to me, but a little puzzling still. Maybe Poe, the character, is actually supposed to be taller than the actual actor who plays him. I think Tom Cruise knows a thing or two about that. But overall, I would give the X-Wing version a little bit higher marks. I'm not sure about this color of the jumpsuit. Obviously, these are different colors. This is more of a red. This is more of an orange. I mean, they're still both orange, I guess, but I'm not sure if this is meant to be a different color in the movie, or if they just sort of got that wrong. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Next, we have the Guavian Enforcer, who is a character that I know zero about. Absolutely nothing about this character besides what I read on the back of the box here. It says, the security soldiers of the Guavian gang wear high-impact armor that makes them stand out among other deadly criminals. So I'm guessing that he's some sort of deadly criminal wearing high-impact armor. Call me crazy. But yeah, I don't know. Before this figure came out, I had no idea that this character even existed or anything. I don't know what role it plays in the movie, but it is definitely an interesting design. It looks, if anything, a little bit more like something that would be in maybe Hellboy or a Japanese video game than Star Wars, but it's interesting. I'm not, from the back of the box, it sounds like it's a person wearing armor, but it's a very odd design for the helmet. It looks almost like a droid or something. He comes with two weapons. This one here appears to be maybe a grenade launcher type weapon. This one more of a sawed-off shotgun, I'm guessing. And he has some various straps and tubes running around. So yeah, I mean it's a pretty cool looking figure actually. I just don't have any inkling of what kind of character it actually is or what part of the movie it'll appear in or anything like that. So looking forward to seeing what it turns out to be. Finally, we have Constable Zuvio, which I assume is how you pronounce it. Again, another character that I know nothing about and that I didn't even know existed until Force Friday, but to go by the back of the box, he is a vigilant law officer on a mostly lawless world. The tough and humorless Constable Zuvio keeps order in a frontier trading post. So I'm guessing he's on Jakku, and while it doesn't really say here whether he's a good or a bad guy, I'm guessing he's probably going to be sort of a tough but fair good guy, if only because we have quite a few bad guys in this film already, just in terms of the figures we have. So, let's take a look at him. He's got, well, quite an interesting helmet here. You can see almost an Asian-looking design with some odd bits on the side there. And if you look at his face, let's see how close we can get. There we go. It's a covered face and apparently some sort of alien. And he's got eyes that look very sort of reptilian or cat-like. I don't know if this is going to be a... Well, I'm assuming it's not going to be a CGI character, but I don't know. I don't even know who's playing this, anything about him. He comes with a weapon that looks to be a halberd or maybe a vibro axe. And the backpack here, it was packaged separately and is removable, but if you remove it, then he'll have some holes in his back, so it's not really meant to be left off. This part, of course, is sort of rubber. Overall, it's a good-looking figure, I think. The coloration, the red and the green and the yellow to some degree, do definitely remind me of Boba Fett, but I don't know if there's any relationship there. Constable Zuvio, ladies and gentlemen. And here we have all of Waves 1 and 2 together. Seeing them all together here like this for the first time really does make me look forward to the new movie. I'm starting to get pretty excited about it. I think these are all good-looking figures and good-looking character designs. They've obviously put a lot of thought into it, as you might expect. I'm looking forward to seeing what other characters they're going to be making figures out of. As I mentioned in the previous video, I'm sure they're going to be making an old Luke and an old Han figure, probably an old Leia. That doesn't sound very good, but older Leia figure. And I'm also sure that there are some characters that we don't even know yet, we haven't even seen yet, that they're going to be making figures out of, so that'll be interesting. They have announced a few, or at least leaked a few. There's going to be a General Hux, who is a sort of I guess an Imperial officer type. And there's going to be a few exclusives as well, which I'm not sure I'll be picking up. Special troopers and 2-packs and things like this. But overall, definitely excited for the movie, excited to see more toys for this line. So thanks for watching.